Right now, in a 5th grade classroom somewhere near you, 74 out of every 100 kids are leaning forward.
The
They are
tongue of the
genuinely
5th
excited,
grade student
deeply
icon
curious,
to a
and
present
motivated to learn.
grade student
But
in
by the
funds.
time those exact same kids reach the 11th grade, that number plummets to just 34. That is not a typo. That is a massive systemic collapse documented by the Gallup Student Poll of nearly 1 million American students. But here is the part that should stop you cold. Your child doesn't just wake up one day and hate school. The drop happens so slowly, one grade at a time, that most parents never see it coming until the damage is already done. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 4 invisible stages of how the school system systematically crushes a child's curiosity, and exactly what you need to do at home to save them before they completely shut down. The story of Marcus/Stage 1. To understand how this happens, you need to meet Marcus. Marcus was the kind of 6th grader every parent dreams of having. One afternoon, he asked his science teacher why the sky was blue. When the teacher gave him a standard one-sentence answer, it wasn't enough. Marcus went home, skipped his video games, and spent 2 hours reading about atmospheric scattering. He wasn't a perfect student, but his mind was alive. His mom Sandra thought, this is just who he is. He's a curious kid. She had no idea the system was about to spend the next 6 years working against that exact trait. This brings us to Stage 1, the 6th grade invisible switch. Most parents think middle school is just elementary school with more subjects. It's not. Researchers at Montclair State University discovered that teacher-student relationships decline sharply during this exact transition. In elementary school, Marcus had one teacher who knew his fears, his quirks, and his strengths. In middle school, he had 6. To those 6, he wasn't Marcus. He was student number 28 in period 4. Simultaneously, the environment shifts from let's explore to let's perform. Grades become the entire point. A study in the Journal of Educational Psychology found that when external rewards like test scores become the primary measure of success, children actively abandon tasks they can't immediately win at. Marcus's curiosity didn't fit on a rubric, so his world began to shrink. He became less chatty after school. Sandra noticed, but she wrote it off as just adjusting to middle school. Stage 2, the compliance download. By 7th and 8th grade, we enter Stage 2, the compliance download. This is the most dangerous stage because, on the surface, everything looks perfect. Marcus was doing his homework. He wasn't getting into trouble. His report card was fine. But underneath, his brain was undergoing what researchers call a shift from intrinsic to extrinsic motivation. He stopped learning because he wanted to, and started performing because he had to. If you think this is just a natural part of growing up, look at the Gallup data again. It isn't a gentle, teenage drift. It is a structured, predictable collapse. 8 in 10 engaged in 5th grade, 6 in 10 in middle school, 4 in 10 in high school. That isn't adolescence. That is a system doing its job. Stage 3, the 9th grade identity hit. Then comes Stage 3, the 9th grade identity hit. High school arrives, and it delivers a massive structural shock. A study published in PLOS ONE tracked hundreds of adolescents and found that a student's self-concept, their belief in their own academic capability, drops sharply at this transition and continues to plummet. In fact, age was a negative predictor of academic self-concept, explaining 37% of the variance. The older they get, the less they believe in themselves. Think about the cruelty of that timing. High school is where the stakes skyrocket. GPAs, SAT prep, AP classes, resumes for college. We demand maximum performance from our kids at the exact moment their self-confidence is at an all-time low. Marcus entered 9th grade and stopped raising his hand. Not because he didn't know the answers, but because the risk of being wrong in front of 30 silently judging peers felt worse than staying invisible. Sandra saw him withdrawing and told her friends he was just getting shy. He had never been shy a day in his life. Stage 4, the shutdown. By 10th and 11th grade, we reach Stage 4, the shutdown. This is when parents finally panic and realize something is wrong, but they are 6 years too late. Gallup found that 11th grade is the absolute lowest point of student engagement in the entire K-12 journey. Only 10% of students report actually enjoying their classes, and 34% say they are bored almost always. Marcus at 16 was just a body occupying a seat, doing what he was told, waiting for the bell to ring. He was rewarded for compliance and punished for independent thought. Sandra would look across the dinner table at his blank expression and worry that she had lost her son to teenage apathy. She didn't know she was looking at the finish line of a 6-year institutional erosion. The solution and conclusion. So, how do we fix this? How do we protect our kids? First, step back and realize this is not a personal failure, it is a structural outcome. Stop fighting your child about their lack of enthusiasm and start fighting for them. Second, you must protect curiosity at home because the school will not do it. Give them permission to obsess over things that carry zero academic credit, a hobby, a coding project, building something in the garage. Research shows that children who maintain even one area of genuine ungraded intrinsic interest show massively better emotional and psychological outcomes across the board. Be hypervigilant during the transition years, 6th grade and 9th grade. Don't pull back and trust the system during these times. Be more present. Ask about their inner world, not just their test scores. That's what Sandra finally did. After watching Marcus drift away for years, she stopped asking, "How was school?" and started asking, "What do you actually wish you could learn that nobody is teaching you?" Marcus looked up. "Engineering," he said. She found him a hands-on summer program outside of the school system. Within 2 weeks, the boy who read about atmospheric scattering in the 6th grade came back. The school didn't change, but Sandra did. She refused to let the institution be the only voice in her son's ear. If this video opened your eyes, please give it a thumbs up and share it with a parent who needs to hear this today. Now, I want to hear from you. What was the moment you first noticed a shift in your child's enthusiasm for school, and what grade were they in? Let's talk down in the comments.